Hello, everyone, and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube as usual at 6:30 on a Friday night. Get yourself subscribed to the channel, get yourself involved in the live chat as we look ahead to the return of Rangers action. I am Scott Carney, and joining me tonight, first of all, is Jamie Mackay. Jamie, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Good to see you, lads. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on. You know me, Scott. I like to usually bemoan the fact that the international break comes in, but you know what? I've actually been quite enjoying the break from Glasgow Rangers. But it's all going to come back to haunt me tomorrow at 3 p.m. when I've got to walk to BF3 and get in my seat and watch us. Not to start on a negative note, but yeah, we're back. The real football's back.
As you wade through Stormbelt, mate, that everybody's panicking about because it's going to be a little bit windy and a little bit rainy. Yes, the usual. And just quickly, Gordon, just seen that, mate. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Great way to start the show, mate. Very much appreciated. Also joining us is Ross McLean. Ross, how are you, mate?
Good, I'm all good. Thank you, all good. It's good to be back. It's been a long few weeks. Saying that I've missed Rangers is probably a bit strong, but it's been let's just say it's been pretty freezing outside, so need some Rangers magic to warm us back up tomorrow.
Wouldn't hold your breath, mate. As I say, I would not. I would not hold your breath for that. That's for sure. But let's hope. Let's hope we will obviously come on to it. Yeah. Been a long couple of weeks for me. Without boring everybody, I've started a new job and I've literally been all over the country, so it's been a long couple of weeks for me. But nearly at the end of that first crazy month that I had to have with this job, and then everything will surely settle down, which is good. But yeah, look, I've not missed Rangers. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have. I really haven't. I've kind of enjoyed it. I've also had other things on, obviously, but the thought of a 3 o'clock tomorrow, it's Saturday. I can't not get your gander up. You have to look forward to that. It's why you're into football. It's why you do football. Saturday at 3 o'clock. There's really nothing like it. So all of that to come. All the preview of that to come. Hello, chat. Good to see you all. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll kick off with tonight a pretty unfortunate news. Unfortunately, that Casan Weiro looks like very much that he will be out for the rest of the season, going by what Philip Clement had to say at his presser today. He said he's meeting with a surgeon over the weekend, and it will be discussed with Feyenoord where he does his rehabilitation. And just on that comment alone makes you think that the likelihood of him kicking a ball the rest of this season is probably quite slim. Jamie, we've seen the reports come out midweek about Casan Weiro, about the injury and the fact that how upset he looked after the injury happened, which 9 times out of 10 it tells you that. The player's reaction tends to tell you exactly how bad it is, especially when they have such a kind of negative reaction to it or such an overwhelming reaction to it. He was in tears by all accounts. Are we cursed, mate? Is this a curse? Is this something that just happens to us? Because it's never like a terrible player it happens to. It's always someone that you're trying to not pin hopes on, but trying to see the light in. That out of the kind of poor season that we've had, I'm not going to fluff it up in any other way. Casan Weiro was one that we were excited to see. You wanted to see more of him. I'm absolutely gutted for him, mate, but I'm also selfishly absolutely gutted for the fans.
On this occasion, mate, it's downright bad luck. It's downright bad luck. I think a lot of the other cases for us have been like hamstring injuries and things like that. And obviously, as Clement alluded to before, we were going to be much fitter and much stronger after pre-season. The proof's in the pudding, and the pudding's not really looking great at the moment. But on Casan Weiro, when I think it was Nicky that sent it into the WhatsApp chat, or it might have been Ross someday, I just thought, oh, here we go again, man. Here we go again. You're right, mate. He's slowly came on a game. Obviously, he kind of announced himself to the fans of that the game in Malmo when they played it left back. He just thought we've got a player here, not only just in an attacking sense, in a defensive sense as well. He looks solid. So big miss for us. And I think if they're chatting about speaking to his parent club and things, I think it looks like he's probably going to be heading back there for treatment. So yeah, it's not great. It's not great losing a player that you're going to be reliant on. It seemed to be that he was using them a lot more. He was turned into one of these utility players, which I don't want to see. I don't want to see another Dujon Sterling played in 5 positions. I want guys that come into a position and they stay in that position. Albeit he was a brilliant player. He's proved something. It might be a case that he gets over the injury and they get him on loan for another year, but you don't know. You just don't know these things. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes and things like that. So got it overall, which might mean we're going to have to see a certain Mr. James Tavernier back at right back. So,
you know what's bizarre is that there's been an injury, Ross, and Tavernier still gets brought up, and it's nothing really to do with him, the injury. But look, it is relevant, I suppose, because it is the area of the pitch that we were expecting maybe to see Casan Weiro play more of. I liked him. I liked what I'd seen so far. Still a lot of development to come in him, but yes, a guy that looked pretty confident in his own ability, a guy that looked like he wanted to make an impression, make the shirt his own, all the usual cliches that get flung along with that. But there's no doubt, mate, it's an absolute shame for him. It is a bit of a crazy injury the way that it did happen. I have seen it, a bit of a bizarre injury the way that it happened. I feel for the lad, but it's sod's law being a Rangers fan, mate, that this happens, don't you think?
It is, mate. It is. It's, one day we'll have a week where we don't need to talk about injuries, but Casan Weiro, I think he is somebody who not only can play at right back, he's good at centre back as well. And one thing I was saying a few weeks ago is that we're coming up to this busy period, you're going to get injuries. This is where you will probably see the likes of a Robin Proper. You will see players potentially in Ciala, because now that Casan Weiro's out, we're going to need bodies. And Casan Weiro, as Jamie was saying, he's a utility man, a guy who could have, rightly or wrongly, in my opinion wrongly, be shoehorned into different positions, but you've now lost that flexibility, so it's now up to your players like Proper to, stand up and be counted, if you will. So I'm gutted for the lad, because he seems like a cracking player, a cracking guy, and it's Rangers, mate. Of course it was going to happen. It was, whenever Rangers can't disappoint you, they'll find another way to do it. But again, it's completely bad luck. Completely bad luck.
Yeah, even through an international break, Rangers still like to grab you by the so-and-so's at times and go, hey, go, you're not having a time of your life missing us, we'll still ruin your week. But obviously nothing to do with the club. I think it's just such an unfortunate injury for him. It really is. I think it's a loss for Rangers, I'm not going to lie. I do think it is. I think we lose that bit of freshness in the area of the pitch that we've all been screaming out for it. You're bang on as well in what you said about the fact that he can play at the back. He looks quite comfortable at the back. We've lost that option now. We've also lost probably the option to go at 3 at the back if Clement was ever thinking of maybe changing the system, but that would be the kind of natural one that people were speaking about, maybe to drop into kind of right centre half, if you like, of a 3 at the back. And now, obviously, the attention will probably turn towards Sterling, and we'll be looking for him to probably come in now. That'll be the next call, I would imagine, to play it right back. But yeah, a really unfortunate instant for him, and a real disappointment for him, and as I say, for us fans alike. I just wish him the best, because I know he'll be watching. I wish him the best recovery, the most speedy recovery that he can possibly have. And yeah, who knows what will happen in the future. Curry did make a good point, and I seen Jamie put it up on the screen there. We'll probably sign him because he'll be injury prone now for the rest of his career. So don't be surprised to see him back at Rangers. But no, very unfortunate for us, very unfortunate for him. So it's a real shame, and we'll have to look at the rest of the season without him now. We'll move on to news that broke earlier in the week that Niles Coppin has been appointed as the technical director of Rangers, as well as overseeing the roles that he's already currently in charge of, the recruitment and whatnot. Just going from the interview that was on Rangers TV, I'll just pull out a few of the things that he said. So he said he was excited about the new role and the challenge that it presents. His primary goal is to support the first team and create a winning environment. He emphasises the accountability, quality and togetherness as key principles. Recruitment and player trading. He said the recruitment department's foundation is strong and Coppin will be closely involved. He aims to improve the department's efficiency and effectiveness. All trigger words, all things that you would expect him to be saying. However, he did make comment on getting more involved and Rangers to be at the kind of leading the front in terms of recruiting players from the Scottish game, from the Scottish League, which I think is important. I hope it's not just hot air that he's saying. I think it's something that we've all kind of been crying out for. Ryan, previously of this podcast, was he was a martyr for it. He constantly went on about how much Rangers should be get involved in the Scottish market, and they would help us in the long run in terms of a league season, in terms of knowing the game. And he also made comment about bringing in maybe ex-Rangers pros as coaches to be part of the kind of backroom staff, part of the coaching staff. Jamie, I'll come to you. The appointment itself, when it was made, left me very underwhelmed, like extremely underwhelmed, where I just thought, God, we're just going to keep continuously doing internal appointments and hope that one of them will stick. One of the form of rotations that we'll have of these people will stick. Without writing Coppin off before he's even started, I'm not overly impressed with what he's already done at Rangers. I think there's still points to prove there. Maybe this is the time that he does show his worth. Maybe this is the time that he is going to actually be able to implement his philosophy, his decision making, his vision, if you like, about how a football team should be run. And I will give him his time to prove his point. I really will. I'm not writing the guy off. But interestingly, I think the main bit for me, mate, was the recruitment of Scottish players and bringing in ex-Rangers pros. I think that's something that we've been going on about for a while. There seems to be a lack of people that really fully understand what Glasgow Rangers is all about. So, Jamie, what's your thoughts on the appointment and your thoughts on the comments that were made throughout his interview?
Flabbergasted is probably the best word to describe how I was feeling when that tweet came out the other day announcing it. I just think it's a strange one, because he's went from being a scout at PSV a few short years ago to a very high up director's role at a global football club. So for me, it's a real head scratcher, mate. Real head scratcher in terms of his ability to pick out players and look at talent. The jury's still out on some of those players, by the way. Like Diamante's blowing hot and cold. Yefty looks a find. We could go. I mean, I think that's a conversation on the players he's actually brought in, probably for another podcast. Yeah, I don't know. I like what I'm hearing from an interview in terms of, as you said, Scott, like the onus is being put on bringing through Scottish talent and also looking at ex-pros. I'm not sure how many of those ex-pros would actually want to come and get involved in the club at the moment, because they'll know what a bit of a shambles behind the scenes. For me, making such a key appointment before a CEO is put in is just really bad mismanagement of the football club. Because what if a new CEO comes in and they don't see eye to eye? Then there's all sorts of huge internal struggles behind the scenes, and that's all you need at the moment. You know what I mean? 9 points behind in third place. We need cohesion. We need guys that know each other. We need guys that are all going in the one direction. I mean, I heard somebody say, well, the CEO might be waiting in the wings and maybe the decision's been made on their part. Fair dues if it has. I can't see it in terms of the way that the board are managing our club at the moment. I really can't see it. But I'm with you, mate. I think let's give him a chance. Let's see how he does. The only thing for me is like it's creating a big hole now as to who heads up the recruitment. He's got so many things to oversee now in terms of the youth squads, bringing players through. Do you know what I mean? So there's so many. It's essentially like 3 jobs rolled into one. So he needs to go and needs to source guys that can come in. One ex-player that jumps out for me is Kevin Thompson. We all know that Kevin Thompson was at the club before. He managed I think it was under 18s. He done a great job. He brought through Nathan Patterson. Nathan, we all know how that worked out. We got a good chunk of money for Patterson. He's a Premier League player now. We need more of that. Kevin Thompson's got a deep knowledge of the club. He knows what Rangers is all about. So a guy like that, see if you got him on board, you're gonna change fan reaction right away. Like you're making small steps. So let's wait and see, mate. But I think we need to give him a chance to sit his desk and get going. So let's wait and see.
I do think the fact that we've been on an international break for 2 weeks and I've not been filled with like full-on Rangers negativity has eased my perception of the appointment. I do think it's bordering on lazy from the board. I'm not going to lie. It's not really. It's not a. It's not a sit up and take notice appointment. It was more a lean back in your chair and sigh kind of appointment where I thought, well, of course, they're going to give him the role and he's kind of there. And as I say, I'm trying not to be too negative. He's there already, and it's like an easy one. Just lets him get him to cover that. Again, I'd be interested to know who made that decision regarding that. And I also agree that if there is a CEO waiting in the wings, why was that appointment not made first? Why would they announce this first? So again, it's all just a bit of the merry-go-round with this board seems to continue on. Ross, it's difficult not to be underwhelmed by the appointment. I think it's difficult not to kind of think, all right, like, and trying not to be kind of overly negative on it. He hasn't really merited a promotion or an additional roles to be put under his watch. He is saying all the right things, but I could sit and say all the right things. It's trigger words. It's they words that you use, the words like innovation and things like that. They just kind of get people, oh, right, he knows what he's talking about kind of thing. The way Pedro got a job. I'm not saying he's Pedro, but the way Pedro got a job. But what's your opinion on the appointment? Jamie, I know Jamie and I are older than you, and I'm very much nearing Rangers Dad territory, mate. I do understand that, but what's your thoughts on the appointment?
Yeah, I think the word laziness potentially comes to mind for sure. I mean, I've got a list of he's on the transfer strategy, he's on the academy, the medical department, football operations, performance and analysis. I mean,
It's quite a
wouldn't
lot.
surprise mate. It wouldn't surprise. See next week if the canteen staff aren't available. You know, Neil's get the sandwiches made for the first team. You know, it's honestly it's bonkers the amount that's on his plate. And I sit back and I look at what needing to strengthen the club from, let's be honest, from the top down, and you're putting one guy in 5 jobs. Like it seems like the most preventable. We could look in a few months' time and look and think, oh, this should have happened. Is it going to take another mistake to? When are we going to sit back and go, right? This shouldn't have happened. So it's another potential. Again, I'll caveat it, all the best to him because, as you said, let him get into his office, let him get to work. But it seems like potentially preventing another failure of down the line. So yeah, again, I don't want to sound too negative. It's come on, it's the weekend. I'm buzzing, but there's only so much positivity I can take from an appointment like that, and yeah, it's another situation, mate. We'll need to wait and see what happens, and if it is another undesirable outcome, then I can't even blame the board because we've not got a board, so I need to find somebody else to blame.
No, it's probably the ground staff have made this decision on this occasion, mate. No disrespect to the ground staff, they'd probably do a better job right now than our current board. But I get it, mate. I completely understand it. It does feel like let's try this and see if this works, which is what the board have been doing for I don't know how long now. It's just something that they don't seem to have any real structure. We don't have a structure. We're lacking leadership at the board, and we can be told things as many as we like in the media by John Gilligan or Gilligan even, or whoever it may be. But we all know what we're saying here. There is a sheer lack of direction and structure within the club from kind of top to bottom, and yeah, the appointment is just a wee bit baffling. Yeah, just a wee bit. I don't really understand the idea behind it all. To give him very much likely more money he's getting for it. I would be shocked if he's not getting a bit of a wage rise for it. And then to give him so much on his plate, and we could be back here in, I don't know, 6 months, the end of the season. This time 12 months, we were going, oh, that didn't work. Who would have thought it? Or we could be going, that was a tremendous appointment. And the thing is, as well, with Coppin, it's not difficult for him to get the fans on side. We are so desperate for somebody to do something correct that we want to support it and we want to get behind it. So if he gets a few things right, then he'll get time and he'll get support. But I think it was met with less than positive reactions from the Rangers support, where we're all just kind of raised an eyebrow at it and thought, what is happening here? I wish him nothing but the best. Generally, I do wish him nothing but the best, but I can't say that I'm confident in the board making a correct decision at this point, because they have no track record of it. It's really as simple as that. So, Coppin will be the technical academy, canteen, ground staff, car washer. He's going to do pretty much everything there. So look, good luck to him. And I hope that I am completely wrong and my reservations about the appointment are incorrect, but we'll have to wait and see. But if I could bet on it, I would say I think I'm right. But I always think I'm right. You all know that watch this podcast. We'll stick on something that he said, Kenny. We will link it to that. Talking about identifying and recruiting the best and the best of the rest in Scottish football, if you like. And it's been revealed or reported that Motherwell would be looking for £4 million for Lennon Miller. Jamie, highly tipped. He's been highly tipped as kind of one of the next best things to come out of Scottish football. We've been linked with him since 1984, almost as long as Shankland, I think. We've been linked with signing him. He is a player I think Rangers should have been looking into, especially if we were sniffing around players like Connor Barron. I think I'm shocked that we weren't very close to signing Lennon Miller at this point. Reported £4 million, mate. He's captain in Motherwell at the age of 18 years of age. Is £4 million too much, or is this the bit where Rangers and Coppin have to go, right, well, if we are going to go down the route of recruiting the best of the rest, you're going to need to spend the cash in Scotland?
Well, if you're paying £4.5 million for Diamandi, who was a prospect, like I think it's a fair amount for Motherwell to ask. The only worry for me is I've seen the clubs that were touted with signing them, and we've not got a home nail, man. Like there's clubs for down south and in the Premier League and things like that sniffing about him at the moment. So we'll just need to wait and see. In terms of his ability, like there's no denying it. He looks a proper player. I've seen him maybe 3 or 4 times. I watched him in flashes against Celtic that last game at Fir Park, and he cracked the crossbar with a free kick. But just overall, he's an intelligent footballer. He's a type of footballer that would just slot into our team very nicely. So yeah, we need to keep looking at these players. I mean, it's no coincidence that one of our best players this season, and he continues to be one of our best players, is Connor Barron. We need to have that Scottish nucleus in our team, something we've always had, and if we're not too careful, it's going to go one way, and we're not going to have any. So I think that's the one thing that Coppin needs to actually act on. It's all very well sitting in front of a camera for Rangers TV and talking about it. He needs to actually go and start looking at Scottish talent and start looking at who we can bring through the door. So yeah, I wouldn't be averse to Lennon Miller. I think he's a brilliant player, but I think when it comes down to it, we might just get pipped if we are actually in for him. But let's wait and see, mate.
Yeah, Ross, I think the fear is now amongst Rangers fans, and I don't think it's unwarranted fears that we've missed the boat with Miller. We probably should have looked at him definitely in the summer, if not this time last year, or the winter window, if you like, the kind of Christmas transfer window last season. We should have been looking at him. What's your opinion on Lennon Miller? Is £4 million too much? Should we be looking at him? Will Rangers go to £4 million for him? It's all not unheard of for Rangers to spend that kind of money in Scotland, but in recent times it probably is. We like to spend our money on the foreign market more than we do in Scotland. But yes, your thoughts on it all, Ross?
Yeah, I think probably for a player of his quality, you'd probably be expecting Motherwell to come out and say 4 million. I definitely agree with you. If Coppin wants to make that first step and make that kind of, I guess, lasting impression with the Rangers support, then get young talent in, because we desperately need it. The other thing as well is that we have a player like Bailey Rice, similar kind of same time as Miller from Motherwell. Could we have, if we gave him the chance, I don't know if he was ready, could we be in the situation of asking 3-4 million for our youth? You know, why it makes you sit back and go, could that have been happening to us? But for me, mate, I think it's a massive opportunity to go and get Lennon Miller. I don't think he'll get the game time at potentially if he goes to the other side of the city. I reckon you look at Rangers, look at the midfield just now. For me, mate, he's getting in there above Diamande, that's for sure. And so I'd be I guess from a Miller point of view, I'd be looking at Rangers as a attractive opportunity for game time. Maybe not so much for the patience, but for me, it needs to be Coppin's first big statement and going out and getting him. And if we don't, we'll look back at it as we did with Ferguson. Again, Ryan was the biggest advocate for that. So let's do something that, there's something preventable here. Let's do it before it happens, and we'll all be rosy.
Ross is getting he's getting himself lost in logic, isn't he? Too much. I'm like, that's not how Rangers work. We don't use logic.
Yeah, it's logic and pure optimism as well. We're not really used to pure optimism in this podcast. I'm loving it, by the way. I'm loving it.
Same, mate.
We are purely pessimistic usually, but I'm loving it for Ross tonight.
Absolutely superb. Yeah, and you make a fantastic point, and I'll come to you about it, Jamie, as well. Players like Rice, they haven't had the opportunity that I think they should have been granted. Every time I seen Rice, I thought, he's a player, man. Like, the boy looks absolutely ready to go. And then Clement came in and he literally disappeared. Literally just disappeared. We've not seen him again since. I think he made the bench once. I might stand corrected. Somebody in the comments might correct me. But I think he made the bench once, but obviously he didn't get on the pitch. Jamie, is it a fear that if we go and sign someone like Lennon Miller, we'll not play him because we think, he's too young and he needs 4 years to settle into the team? At the end of the day, Coppin's made the point about our academy and that as well. See, by the time players are getting to 21 and 22, they're not kids anymore. They should be ready. If they're not ready, they should have been sold on previously before it. They shouldn't be getting to the age of 21, 22 if they don't have it in them to play for Rangers. That's my honest opinion anyway. But somebody like Miller, there is a fear there if Rangers do go and sign him that we'll waste them.
See, to be honest, I think where we are in terms of spending big money, and we all seen the lack of funds that came through in the summer there, and there's a reason that Connor Barron's starting in the centre of the pitch is because we didn't get that 6 or 8 we gravely needed in a more experienced player. So, see, to be honest, if you'd asked me this like 2 or 3 seasons ago, Lennon Miller's not coming in and starting. He's going to be on the bench. He's going to be coming on last 20. He's going to be featuring in cup games. But as Ross says, and as Ross points out very well, he's walking into our midfield at the moment in terms of talent. He really is. The one frustrating point in Clement is he gave it the beginning about giving youth a chance and all that. And I'm with you, mate. Bailey Rice, whenever I seen him, was absolutely brilliant. Also, I think was Bailey Rice not? Where did we get him from? Was he not at Motherwell or something like that with Lennon Miller?
Yeah.
Was it not?
Ross knows,
right, he was. He was. So I seen that the other day, and I was like, we've bought the wrong guy. But that's the thing. Have we? We've not seen enough of him. So it's a real pain point amongst fans. We've got talent. We've got talent. We've got Robbie Fraser as well, who's every single time he's come on, he's looked more than capable of playing football for Glasgow Rangers, especially in domestic games, like, for instance, tomorrow against Dundee United at home. So you need to bleed these players. You need to get if they've got the talent, put them in the team. It's becoming a real frustration point for me. Come on, obviously going back on what he said about giving youth a chance. But yeah, I think I've seen somebody in the comments saying, where's Lowry and where's it? But these players have had their chance. Like Lowry, a player like Alex Lowry, he's had his chance. Do you know what I mean? He's went out on loan at Hearts. He's not a Rangers player. He's not for our first team. But a player like Bailey Rice, who knows? Who actually knows? He's had a small handful of games. So do you know what I mean? Now might be the right time to start putting these boys in and seeing how they fare.
Yeah, and Steve O'Gers has said, if you're good enough and feel good and want to give it your all, then play the young lads. I honestly couldn't agree more. There's a lot of that in that for me, I really do. And I think with the amount of investment that we have into the academy, we should be seeing more for the kind of amount that we put into it. And I hope Coppin gets that correct, because I would love to see that some of the youth players get a chance. Because look, realistically, lads, the league isn't going to happen this season. This season's not going to be looked at very fondly, I don't think, in the grand scale of things once we get to the end of May. there's got to be players that are close. There's got to be players that are really champing and ready to go. And Rice, Fraser, all the ones that we mentioned, they're the guys that we've seen wee glimpses of, but just not enough. And you think, give them a bit of a chance. You've got to remember as well, we spent nearly £5 million on Yilmaz. We don't hardly see the guy because he's injury prone. And you're like, there's got to be better ways to spend our money. And before we come on and talk about something, spending money, which is all a wee bit much for me on a Friday afternoon, I must say, when I seen it. We'll quickly hear a word from our sponsors, Manscaped. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily, silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, their Chairman Pro electric foil shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. You have the skin safe 4-blade foil for that close, smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean. And if a clean shave isn't your style, just switch to the skin safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble looking sharp and polished. The Chairman Pro comes with unique flex adjust technology, helping you maintain great contact with your skin at every angle. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro is so powerful it can tackle up to a 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. Thank you to Manscaped for their continued support of this podcast. If you use the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com, you'll be supporting this podcast. So thank you everybody that's planning to do so for Christmas. Great ideas for Christmas on there, that's all I'm saying. Get yourself over to Manscaped, use our code, that'd be magic. Their stuff is class, absolutely brilliant. And quickly just talking on that, we are doing a Merry Members Christmas giveaway from December 1st to December 20th. This is your chance to win. The Chairman Pro is in this. I'm just saying the Chairman Pro is in the giveaway. You'll get a chance to win that yourself. But all you have to do to be a chance of winning is sign up to our YouTube channel, one of our membership levels. We will be giving away a number of gifts, including this year's home top, the heritage top, a museum tour, the coveted Manscaped Chairman Pro, and also we'll give away a gift voucher for the Rangers store as well. So winners will be selected at random over between the December 1st and December 20th, and we will announce it on the following podcast as well as on the channel. They'll put it up on the community page as well. So yeah, just a thank you from us for all our channel members. To get involved, sign up to the one of our channel members and you'll be in a chance of winning a gift as part of our Merry Members Christmas giveaway. And that took me all night to think that up. Genuinely, honestly, you think I sleep at night? I don't. I really don't. So yes, thank you everybody, and please do get involved in that. That would be great. And a Chairman Pro, when I say a Chairman Pro for Christmas, Santa will be loving you at Christmas time after using your Chairman Pro. So yes, we were talking about. We're talking about money, basically there about how Rangers are investing the money. And ironically today, Rangers have released a new shirt sponsor. So it was announced that the Rangers are pleased to announce an exciting partnership with Guava App, a global fintech company which offers users a unified way to spend and manage their money. Jamie, I'm not going to lie. I hope they're going to help Rangers, because I looked at that and thought, are we being trolled? Is it April 1st? This can't be what I think it is. Look, the sponsorship on its own apparently is worth a great deal of money to Rangers. I think it's like 40% more than we've ever had on for a sponsor on the back of the shirt. But I'm not going to lie, mate, I was like, there's a bit of tongue-in-cheek happening in that tweet, surely, when I seen it.
Can Guava play at number 9? Because we're gravely needing one. Yeah, no, like Rangers, read the room, man. Read the room. Yeah, do you know what?
Mate, I know.
Like, commercially, it sounds like an absolute topper of a deal, but really, we're not that bothered. We're really not that bothered. There's far more pressing things at the moment, like the fact we're terrible to watch and we're 9 points behind second place. So yeah, look, mate, like when it comes to all the commercial stuff and all that, fair dues. Like whoever the guy is that's in that segment of the club is doing a good job, but we need the rest of his counterparts within the football club to start doing a good job as well. That's all I'll say on it.
I think, is it not Coppin that does that? I'm sure it must be Coppin that's doing the commercial.
No, it's another. I think it's like an Indian guy or something like that.
It's John Sterling, isn't it? He does
it. Sterling, so it is, mate. So it is just John Sterling. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, you might as well use him.
You might as well. Geo972, thank you very much for coming. Remember, mate, good luck in the draw when it happens as of 1st of December. So, yes, thank you very much. Ross, yeah, look, I know we have been... we've been a bit of tongue in cheek ourselves. Look, I'm all for Rangers, as I say. I don't like the over sponsorships on the shirts and whatever else. You do begin to look a wee bit like a Formula One car, or you look like a Napoli top, for example, when Napoli tops are covered in sponsors. It's a great deal for the club, it really is, but Jamie's correct. Read the room, Rangers, with your tweet, because you're really not reading the room. Your finger is not on the pulse there.
Yeah, honestly, if you hold off a few months if things are a wee bit rosier, then you announce that. That was, honestly, I cannot tell you you almost sit back and just accept it and go, of course it was going to happen. Of course something like that is going to brighten your day up even more. So no, look, it's more money in the club, but hopefully the sponsors can teach us how to use that money and use it wisely.
That would be nice. Yes, that would be nice if we can get someone in there to do that from Guava App or whatever it is. Something I've never heard of before in my life. But look, if it works, it works, and it brings in money, then all good. But let's hope it does. They get a few seminars and PowerPoint presentations and how to maybe spend the money a little bit better. That would be absolutely ideal. Again, it was just one of those things when I read it, I was like, I can't really be coping with this at this time on a Friday afternoon after a couple of weeks I've had. But yes, welcome to the Rangers sponsorship family, I suppose. We'll move on to the press conference today. Obviously, we kind of waited with bated breath, I suppose, because you always do after a couple of weeks off to see what's going to happen and what Clement might have to say for himself this week. Just an injury update. Obviously, he said that everybody returned from an international break, obviously apart from Casan Weiro, as we covered at the start of the show. Matondo's back. Sign me up. I'm there. Yilmaz is also back in training, and he said that he got good news that Cortez is back with the team next week. He said it was always important to have time on the training pitch. There was a friendly that was played with players needing minutes and players that were returning from injury. And he said that we always want to win and we always want a good performance. Don't we all, Phil? Don't we all? Jamie, it's crucial now for Rangers to get players back as fit as they can and as quickly as possible. We need options, mate, and we're in dire need of them. Matondo is not my cup of tea. We've been here this a million times. I think he's shown flashes of it. Yes, his goal against them will always get brought up. I understand that, but we just need options, mate, because right now, as I said, with Matondo coming back with Yanis Haji performing for his national team, and again, I'm not saying that they're the answer, but it's options that we need, because there is players in the pitch currently, in my opinion, like Barami, who's not playing in the right position. So we need as much options as we can, and if it means Rabbi Matondo, then it means Rabbi Matondo.
I mean, I can't say that it fills me with great positivity. The Matondo's back, as you say, mate. It was an absolute blinder of a goal versus them in the 3-3 win, as Clement likes to put it, the 3-3 draw, as the fans like to put it. So no, I think that's a good point. I think in terms of using Barami in his correct position, obviously I know Matondo's been utilised on the right. I always think he could play on the left. So Cortez back in training next week. We might see him the following week, possibly, fingers crossed. every single time he's come back, he's looked at player, he's showed great flashes. Do you know what I mean? He's done stuff in games to excite the fans. So yeah, I think we just need more. We need more of this news. Players coming back from injury, and I think Yilmaz being back as well is super positive, because I don't think it feels like we can always rely on Yefty at left back, especially in a full season where we're playing a lot of games as well. So I think let's just wait and see. I think the major problem for me, mate, and the major problem that we spoke about on the pod all the time is having a settled 11, having a cohesive unit that goes out most of the big games. It's chopping and changing. So hoping with players being back now, we're starting seeing players like Barami in his right position, and players really start to get settled now for this second half of the season and kick on. Do you know what I mean? Just kick on, get as far up as the table as you can. I know we're obviously going to come on to the games that are coming up. Just start performing, playing as a unit. Give us something more, because we're really needing something as a fan base to hang our hat on at the moment.
Yeah, Ross, we're coming up to pretty look. Every run of games is crucial now due to where we found ourselves, and we said that last time after an international break about how crucial the games were coming up, and I think Rangers can still win games, yes, because we've seen Clement manage to get us to win games. It is entertaining as watching paint dry, and that's probably an over-exaggeration, an under-exaggeration even, about it. But I think having options like Matondo, who I'm saying isn't my cup of tea, but Matondo brings pace, and I think that's something that the team is lacking, especially in the front line. The way we are playing, we have the chance to break on teams. We've seen it so many times. The ball gets to Dessers, we go back the way. The ball gets to Tierney, who has been an improvement. I'm not going to say he hasn't, but he's not the fastest. Same as Barami, he's not the fastest. We've not got that real killer pace, that pace that you can just leave defenders for dead, and Matondo does have that. So good to see Matondo back, but I think we'll speak about Matondo, yes, but we'll speak about Yilmaz. I think Yilmaz struggles to get back in this team. I really do. I can't see how he plays over Jefty. Jefty performed pretty well for his unders team, I think it was, that he went away and played for over the international break. So I think he's performing. What it does, though, even at that, is I don't know if it's going to come back and bite Clement on the backside when he listens to this podcast, that we've seen Jeff to get pushed up to the left-hand side as well. And I think I don't know many Rangers fans that are not screaming for Barami to be moved into the middle of the pitch. I think we all want to see it, literally all of us. It does give him the option to have Yilmaz at left back and put Jefty a wee bit further forward if he wishes to do that. So all in all, mate, I'm positive about the left-hand side's looking a bit stronger, but I do think that Yilmaz struggles to get back in the team.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jefty's, talking about pace, Jefty's probably one of the only players who, if you give somebody the ball at his feet, he's got a good bit of speed on him, Jefty. So potentially left wing could be, obviously it is very much the Rangers, round pegs, square holes, but it could be something a bit different. For me, Joe makes a really good point in which try to find the kind of the core foundations of the team. For me, all these games, lads, is leading up to that game the 15th. We need to find out what squad ultimately is going to be playing against them. We can't be going in a week before and say, oh, who's going to be the right back, who's going to be the left wing. We need to know, and we need to know soon. And what an opportunity you have. You have games coming thick and fast every 3-4 days. So players should be looking at, there's going to be rotation. Can I get in there? Can I make a claim for the team? So for me, obviously, it's about getting the points on the board. You've got European football as well. Brilliant. It's all leading up to that game the 15th. That's the one that matters. And we need to figure out who's playing and get Matondo back quick to score another screamer against them.
Yeah, that would be nice, mate. I'll take it. Look, I'll happily take it, mate, and I'll be the one with the biggest cheeser on my face on the post-match if it is Matondo that rips in a perler, mate, for us to win the cup. Absolutely. I will be absolutely delighted. Absolutely. I've got no qualms to admit that. But I just think on the left-hand side, you're like, right, well, that's that's something positive to go on. As I say, we're getting more options there, and I think it's going to be critical for us as many options as we can to get into it. Jamie, I know we've been over this over and over again, and I do get it. Yanis Haji's performing well again for his nationals team. Apparently, his national team managers come out and told him to leave Rangers. Of course he would, because he wants to see Haji playing as much football as he can, because it's a good thing and exposure for his country's the country's national team, etc., etc. Clement has to make the decision, I think, with Haji now about what he does, because Haji's clearly ready. Right, there's no issue with fitness, there's no issue with match sharpness. He is fit, he's ready to go. He has to use him because he's better options than the guys that he's bringing on, i.e. Kieran Dow. And I'm not being disrespectful, but Haji is just a better football player than Kieran Dow, especially in the attacking areas. So I think it's going to be interesting over these next maybe 2-3 games to see what Clement does with Haji. But I think if he's going to be here till at least January, for this run that you've got coming up into December, you're going to need to use him or make the decision that he won't be used, and that's the end of it, and he will be moving on in January. What's your thoughts?
You need to sling him in, mate. He's made the decision. Obviously, there was the whole drama about him, about the chat behind the scenes about his contract. If he plays more, it's going up, blah blah blah. And then it was all sorted. He's back in the squad. He played in that game. He fed a lovely ball into Czerny to score. Can't mind who it was. It might have been the cup game against Dundee or maybe St Johnstone at home. One of the two. But he came on in that game and he made a real impact. Nobody's saying that Yanis Haji is our saving grace, but come on, man, like Kieran Dow, I can't watch Kieran Dow play for us again. I really can't. He's a League One player at best, and he must be running on at iBooks thinking, oh my god, I've won a prize. He's actually entered a prize draw to play at iBooks. It's ridiculous. So Haji, I don't blame his international team manager, by the way, for saying leave Rangers. But Haji, he's just got the right attitude. He's not chucked his toys out of pram. He's always said he's wanting to play for Rangers. You're right, mate. Even if there is a bid coming in from him in January, we have a hugely we have got a lot of very hugely important games coming up within the next month or so that we need to start getting points on the board, and we need to start winning some games in Europe. We've got the big cup final game, so no, he's a much better option off the bench. Even if you're going to bring him on last 20 minutes in that role, I think it's obviously all dependent on what happens with Barami. Does Barami play in the 10? There's so many ifs and buts, but he needs to be on the bench, and he's obviously ready, mate. I seen somebody on Twitter the other day talking about his performance against Cyprus, and I went and watched the highlights. He was brilliant. He was really good. Folk will say, aye, only Cyprus, but look, he's clearly fit. He's playing well. He's in a good run of form. So you need to start playing him, or else just as you say, make decision and get him out of squad.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying about people might say, it's only Cyprus. Ross, it's only Hearts who are second bottom or bottom of wherever they were, bottom of the league. So he has to be an option. And again, I've not went full circle in Haji. I don't want to get carried away with Haji because everybody always gets better when they're not playing for a while, when we're desperate for somebody to come in and make an impact. It always happens. It's happened the whole time I can remember being a Rangers fan, or any team for that matter, to be honest. It does happen. But when he is bringing on Dow, you're looking at it and you're going, and even I mentioned after the Hearts game about Diomande, who I thought was missing in action pretty much that entire game against Hearts. I thought surely somebody like Haji, who has a bit of a point to prove, I feel, would be able to have an impact. And no matter what, even if he is leaving in January, if he is fine, and if Clement's dead set against playing him, then he has to, I think, not come out and say it as such, but make it clear that that's the end goal, because the fans are looking at Haji performing for his national team, be it against Cyprus, wherever it was playing against, but they are looking at it and going, why are you not using him? I don't believe for a second that we can't get a tune out of him due to the state that we are currently find ourselves in with the number 10 and with the right hand side, even when Czerny needs a bit of a rest. What's your thoughts? What should Clement do with Haji?
I know, definitely. The argument against Cyprus thing, that FCSB game, you could say, Czerny bagged in too, but it was only FCSB. He's still performing. There's still players performing and doing well. You can't. I know there's obviously golf's in quality, But when a player's putting in performances like he is, you have to, especially in the situation that we're in, we need to look at it, I guess, as optimistically as we can be. For me, Haji probably needs to come into the team for one of two reasons. One, if we can get a tune out of him and he does bring his quality in the pitch, brilliant. That's all we can ask for. But two, if we do want to punt him in January for a good bit of money, teams are going to look. He's not played. I'll offer you minimal amount for him. At least try and bump his value up a wee bit. Just something. But again, it all comes down to playing him. Whether it is there's been something in the background and Clement, maybe not his ego's getting in the way, but I think you're right, does need to be some sort of communication there. But again, it's another situation of putting the team first. If Haji can play, he's made very clear that he loves being here, he wants to play for us so much so, he's so much passion he gets a red card in his first game back. But we need something to kind of look at Haji and not be another player that he leaves in a bad regard. We've seen players, leaving and go, aye, he was good at once, but whenever he left, he wasn't great. If he's going to go, put him at a bit of a high, and if it brings us success in the pitch, mate, then that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I do agree. And I think it's obviously going to be up to Haji if he gets the opportunity to make the statement, make a point, not not try and do. I think the red card's I think it's rustiness. I do. I don't think there was any malice in it. I think it was just a bit of rustiness in his game, to be honest. And I think that if he gets the opportunity, then go on and prove that you're right, or prove that we're all wrong. If he comes on and he's garbage, it'll be forgotten about, he'll disappear, and he'll get moved on in January, and he might still do it, but you have to be able to get your money's worth out of these players. Yanis Haji is on a pretty penny. He's on good money at Rangers, so we should be trying to utilise him. A guy that feels that he's got a point to prove. Whether there is a clash of egos, whether there's something going on, I still think, as you said, Ross, quite rightly, Clement needs to put the team first. He really does need to put the team first and put all that to the side. This isn't Pep having a battle with, I don't know, whoever, Kevin De Bruyne or whatever. This is Rangers who are struggling to catch up to second place right now. So I think he has to look at it, and realistically I just think Haji must be able to be an option considering who we've been bringing on in recent times. Be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few games or so, but I do think over the next couple of games we'll know all we need to know, whether Haji will be involved or he won't be. We'll move on to the return of league action now, as Rangers welcome Dundee United to Ibrox amidst Storm Bert on at Saturday 3 o'clock. Very much looking forward to it, even the weather looks horrific, generally looks horrific. But I think by about 3 o'clock, I think it's to clear up over Ibrox, to be honest. I think there's going to be a parting in the storm where we'll get a wee section to play a game of football, which would be quite nice. Just if anybody that is travelling and is watching the podcast, check how far you are travelling, because there's been cancellations and stuff that I've seen been released on Twitter and that. I don't know how true they all are, but still, do your checks before you leave to make sure that you're actually going to be able to make it and you're going to be safe in doing so. Look at me being all responsible, ridiculous. So Dundee United, last 5 games have won 2, drawn 1, 1-2, lost 2 and drawn 1 even, as I get myself back on track. They are currently sitting 4th in the league table. They are only 3 points behind Rangers, but we do have a game to play more than them. They've played 12, we have played 11. Jamie, what kind of game are you expecting tomorrow from Dundee United? I'm not going to lie, mate, I think they'll fancy their chances. I don't think it'll be a sit-in job. I think they might try and frustrate us for a while, yes, but I think they'll be feeling pretty pucker about coming to Rangers, considering the performance levels we've seen recently. I think it's up to Rangers to prove a point tomorrow more than it is Dundee United.
Well, it's going to go from storm, whatever you called it, to storm deserts at 3 o'clock
I think
tomorrow.
I'm sure it's Bert.
Is it Bert? Aye. So
the only reason I know it's Bert is because
quit.
as soon as I heard that, I went Bert, because it's in Still Game, and I went, oh, that will all remember that now.
No, see, to be honest, there's not been, as you said at the start, mate, Saturday 3 p.m. when you're a football fan is brilliant, but when you're playing the way that we are playing with a storm overhead, and there's not the best feeling going to Ibrox, it's not great. In terms of the game, I'm expecting it to be extremely stuffy. extremely stuffy. Like Dundee United will come and they'll park, they will frustrate, they will have looked at Hearts' game plan. Hearts done the exact same. They had their chances. They probably could have beat us a few weeks ago. So they'll take a blueprint from the teams that have came and have pushed us very close this season and the games that we've possibly got off with one. So tomorrow, mate, I'm not expecting a huge Rangers win. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be. I know we're gonna go into the teams and the scorers, but yeah, I think it's gonna be an extremely stuffy affair. And I think Goodwin's come out and said as much that they're gonna literally come and just sit in and frustrate. For them to be just the 3 points off us at this stage in the season, again, it highlights the complete inefficiencies of our team at the moment. So yeah, if I keep talking, it's just going to be more negativity. So I'm going to put myself back in mute now.
It's all right, mate. Look, I get it. Because, Ross, I would love to be sitting here going, Rangers are going to show up tomorrow. We are going to be absolutely brilliant. But the performances so far this season have left me nothing to think of that will be the case. I hope I'm wrong. I want Rangers to show up tomorrow, and a comfortable 3-0 win tomorrow would just be absolutely pucker. It really would, and it would bring much needed positivity back to the club right now, because there's not many people that really sit and go, looking at the weather, going, oh yeah, I can't wait to get to Ibrox. I'm buzzing because it's Saturday at 3 o'clock, and that is literally our thing. I absolutely love it. Like, the missus actually made comment to me earlier on this afternoon, went, are you out for the game tomorrow? I was like, sorry? I was like, it's Saturday at 3 o'clock, and I was like, yes, I am. I will be going for a couple of beers tomorrow. I kind of looked at her. I think she was wondering if she could take the car, and I was like, hey, have the car if you like. So I was like, no, I'm definitely out. But yeah, Ross, I wish we could be confident of seeing a fantastic Rangers performance tomorrow. The chances are, as Jamie said, it's going to be stuffy, it's going to be a grind. Rangers are going to need to do what we've been doing probably all season and just do enough to win the game. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. No, you need to say it as we'll always be honest. Yeah, I see as fans, it can't go on. Like, going into games feeling unoptimistic, especially when, you're like, when's the last chance you have a Saturday at 3? The rumours are, by the way, that Alistair Pearson is at the Viceroy as we speak for the Saturday 3 kickoff. But
yes, he is. Yeah,
but
he's not even though he's not in the pub just now, because Ali won't drink the night before a game. This is true. Ali won't drink the night before a game. He never does. See, even like at Christmas and that, and we're playing Boxing Day, Ali won't drink because he's got to go to Ibrox next day. Do you know what I mean? So he won't. So Ali will be outside the Viceroy, but he'll just be in his tent, just waiting for tomorrow morning doors opening.
So I'm sure he's listening to the podcast while he's there. That's for sure.
He won't be doing that either. If Ali's not on, he doesn't watch. Trust me, that he doesn't watch us.
That's shocking. I need to have a word with him. But no, we need to. It's one thing that we keep moaning every week about, how obviously to put up the performance, put up with it. It should never be like that, football fans. I know it's easy enough to say you need to go out and do it, but just flip the narrative. Rangers, have fans going to games feeling a wee bit more positive. It would just do us a world of good. But no, like I think the last time we played them, we played them back in September. It was the 1-0 game where Lon scored quite early on. I think that was the game actually Igamani came on, looked like a bit of a world beater. So a bit of that tomorrow would be a bit positive. But no, like, I think you're right. They'll probably be fancying their chances, like a lot of teams probably will against Rangers. And we need to finally make that statement of, no, you come to Ibrox and it's not even considering anything other than 3 points for Rangers. So I hope that Rangers can do that. It's a lot of hot air that I'm blowing just now, but just please prove me wrong, Rangers. It's all I can ask for.
Ross, I'm all for your hot air, mate, but you're by far the podcaster of the podcast tonight, mate. You've been great, mate, and I want that optimism. I want to be full of it. I really do. I want to be where you are, mate, and I hope you're right. I really do hope you're right. I hope Rangers do make a bit of a statement tomorrow, but as I say, I can't hold my breath because I really don't see it. Ross, you can go first since you've been so good. What's your team selection, if you dare to try and pick one, and what do you think the score will be?
You're too kind, mate. You're too kind. I'm going Butland in goal. Let's bring the positivity right back down and say I think Tavernier will start, lads. I think, unfortunately, it'll
Andrew
just,
Muir, yeah, Maddie, sorry. Thank you very much, mate. 20 quid, mate. Thank you very much. I'll definitely get the boys a beer for that tomorrow, mate. Thank you very much. Absolutely superb, Andrew. Cheers, mate.
thank you, Andrew. That's incredibly kind. Thank you. That's yeah. Tavernier, I think, will be at right back. I think you'll see probably. I'm gonna go Suter and Balogun at the back. I think Suter strong international, and I think Proper for me doesn't make it into the team, so Balogun's coming in. I'm going Jeff Day at left back, midfield three of Barron, Diamande, and Raskin, front three Tierney, Dessers, Bramy. So pretty unchanged. I think it's probably there's no other names that I can. I mean, does he throw in Haji? I doubt it, but you never know. But all I can say is that if he does make any changes, they'll be fairly welcomed. Fans will. If you see the likes of a Sterling at right back, if you see a Haji in there, if you see a Nagamani, it'll be welcomed. It's potentially something that Clement could start to save his job a wee bit if he does make these changes. Look, you sit back and go, oh, you know what? Yeah, there's something different there. So I think it will be relatively unchanged, but as long as it gets us my predicted 2-0 win with a Tierney goal, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, I'll take that, mate. I will take that. I think your team's pretty spot on, mate. I'm not going to lie. Justin Muir as well. Who wants to do it since Ali's not here? They want to give Justin. Rod has pulled one out the bag there. Look at that.
God bless America.
Ross has pulled it out the bag there. That's tremendous, mate. Well done. That's fantastic.
What a performance tonight from Ross. What a
mate.
performance, by the way. Wow.
Wow, I need to petition for a statue of Ross outside the podcast headquarters. That's superb, man. That is absolutely great. Wow. Blew me away there, mate. But no, your team prediction, mate, I don't think you'll be too far off. I really don't think you'll be too far off. If I was picking the team, the only change I would make is generally I would put Matondo on the left, Barami in the middle, and Tierney and Dessers would be the same. Everything else I would go along with is what I think the team will be. The change would be that. I'd play Sterling at right back. He won't, but I would play Sterling at right back. But I don't see that happen. I think Tavernier will play. So yeah, I'll go for my 3-0 Rangers tomorrow. Do you know what? I'm going to go for my 3-0 Rangers tomorrow and Matondo to come back and set the world on fire and score the first goal. That's what I'll go for. And everything will be fine and rosy for a few hours after it. Jamie, your starting 11 and your team prediction.
Right. It's going to obviously be button the goal. Tav's going to start. As much as I would like to see Big Douge in at right back, because Big Douge needs a run of games. We've all seen, especially the game at Hampden against Motherwell in the semi. I thought he was absolutely exceptional when he came on, by the way. So I want to see him get in a team and get a run of games. It's going to be Tav though, because I think Clement's just going to blindly stick by his man. I'm with Ross. Proper's not going to play because he can't play domestically. It's going to be, they're going to have Louis Moult up front. He's going to be like a big battering ram. Proper won't be able to handle him. So it's going to be Balogun and Suter. Yefte. I'm going to go Barami on the left. Going to go with you, Scotty. I actually think he might bring Matondo in on the right. Midfield three of Raskin, Barron and Diamande. And then, do you know what? I think he's going to play Danilo. I think he's going to play him because I seen that he's putting a lot of extra work in.
I forgot about him. I forgot he was
back. No,
honestly,
and I think it will be off the back again of that cameo that he had at Hampden in the semi against Motherwell. I thought he was brilliant. His movement. So come on, he must be seeing that. He's ready to go. Chuck him in. Let's see how he does. He's a million times better than Dessers. I'm not going to go with you, Scott. I don't think it's going to be a massively convincing win. I'm going to go 2-1 Rangers, and I am going to go Barami first scorer.
look, a win is what I would like first and foremost. I
Win's
always
a
say
win.
that,
Win's a win.
but it is about time we see a bit of a performance from Rangers. I'm not going to lie, it is about time. If Rangers could match Ross's performance tonight, we're in for a good day tomorrow at Ibrox, boys. That's all I'm going to say. Jim Sloan, legend, mate. Always good to see you. Thank you so much, Jim. Very much appreciated. The boys will be getting spoiled tomorrow with beers, so thank you very much. That's very, very much appreciated. That will do us for tonight, everybody. Very much hope your team wins tomorrow. Jamie, thank you very much for joining me.
That's us get 60 quid now. I was actually just going to walk to the game and not drink tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to go to the pub and Scott's going to buy me 20 vodkas to actually cope with the fact I'm having to watch Rangers tomorrow. Thanks for having me, boys. What a performance from Ross. Flipping out the flag and he's got props and everything, this boy. He's like, honestly, Scott, what a signing. What a signing,
mate. Best signing of the season by a country mile, mate.
100%.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Ross, you can come out for a few drinks if you want, mate, because you're a cheap date. No, Ross, thank you very much, mate, and man of the match by a long way, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Yes, a large ice water for me. That'll do me nice. But no,
I'll get you 20. I'll get Ross 20 waters. No bother at all. That's absolutely fine.
Cannot wait. No, it's looking forward to it, gents. It's back at Ibrox after again a long 2 weeks. But if we can come away feeling a wee bit chuffed, then that's all I can ask for. So have a good rest of your weekend, lads, and yeah, play up the famous Glasgow Rangers.
Exactly. Yeah, very much hope your team wins tomorrow, and it is something that we can see a bit of improvement. We do see a performance tomorrow. It is what we have to continue to hope for just now. But yes, we will be back. I think it will probably be Alistair and I from the Viceroy after the game to bring reaction, win, lose or draw. Thank you all the donations tonight. Thank you everybody for getting involved. Really do. I appreciate it. Honestly, it's brilliant. And get yourself signed up to the channel. Sign up to one of our membership tiers on the channel. Give me a chance to win in some of our gifts in our Christmas giveaway. So thank you very much for tuning in. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers everybody.